This is pretty special. Man, for my 300th show, I pretty much I don't think I could have asked for a better guest. My next guest is the lead singer of Canada's biggest and best rock and roll band, as far as I'm concerned, especially live. They won Rock Search back in 2013. They've been touring ever since, it feels like, and winning the hearts of fans across North America. It's a massive pleasure to have him on as my 300th, as a guest on my 300th show. Please welcome for the Glorious Sons from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, Brett Emmons.
Hey, man.
How are you, bro?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really well. Thanks for taking the time to join me. I know you guys have been super busy. It's been a great summer for you guys, yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty chill for like June and July, but August came around and seemed to, take up all of my time. So not
Yeah,
bad.
for sure. Cuts into the fishing and stuff.
This,
Yeah.
honestly, man, I reignited my love for fishing this year like crazy. So last year with making the album and doing a bunch of stuff, it was kind of really hard to uh, get out. And this year I've been doing it as much as possible.
That's cool. That's cool. We're gonna get into fishing a little towards the end of the interview, but I want to jump right into it. We're sort of talking about touring and stuff, and it always seems like you guys are touring and you're out there, and it seems like you love playing live. It's been pretty crazy. You guys, you opened for the Smashing Pumpkins this summer. Nickelback's pretty cool, and then the Rolling Stones a few times not too long ago. That's a pretty iconic band. It's like, do you wake up in the morning and just go like, holy shit, I'm opening for Mick Jagger tonight, or like Billy Corrigan for the Pumpkins? What's that like, Brett?
Um, I try not to think about it too much. When it happens, I get pretty excited.
Yeah.
But once showtime comes, it's kind of just another show. You have to go out there and steal their fans, and um, you know, and
Yeah.
you don't really think about it afterward either. You just, you're happy, you're excited, and then it's on to the next one. Kind of
Yeah.
sounds like a hockey answer, but um, I remember when we were opening for the Stones early on, I would get so nervous about it, like
Really?
unbearably nervous. And I think I've just learned how to um, kind of chill a little bit and kind of treat it like any other show.
Do you still like you pull it off so well? You never look nervous when you come out on stage. You come out there fucking fired out of a cannon. You got this big shit-eating grin on your face. You're like, let's go. Are you nervous ever, or is that sort of gone, or do you still get nervous because that's just real and what happens?
Yeah, I'm nervous every time I go on the stage. So yeah, a lot of it kind of transfers into, I guess, kind of crazy energy, but it starts with nerves.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, you bring it well. When you're out there, Brett, you really do put on a special show for the fans, and it really feels and looks like you love being out there. Is it sort of a therapy for you? Do you sort of step out of day to day Brett and this character, if you will, takes over while you're out on that stage for an hour and a half, whatever it may be?
It's definitely therapeutic. Um, yeah, I think there's kind of like two sides to me. I've always been kind of like the crazy one of my family. As a kid, I was really, really rambunctious and really, really emotional. And, if I had an office job, I don't know, I might go absolutely insane. Um, so yeah, it's kind of like there's two sides to me, I guess. I don't really necessarily know how to explain it, but there's me, who kind of needs that outlet and um, you know, just needs to be extremely social and energetic. And then there's another side to me that, at home I just, sit here and play chess and
Yeah,
cook dinner and fish.
right on. Those are some pretty good things. Touring's changed over the years, hasn't it, Brett? It's goddamn expensive to go out on tour now, isn't it?
It's really, really expensive. It's unbelievable how expensive it is.
Crazy.
Everything just keeps getting more and more expensive. And after COVID, I think that didn't help. Like the
No.
prices of buses. We still kind of. I'm not a real numbers guy, but what it looks like to me is happening is we're still making the same money, but the price of everything else is going up. And
Yeah.
I think that can be said for pretty much every job. Um, but when you're trying to put a tour on for 2 months and you have a pretty big crew and you're busting across the country, and gas prices are up, and it just kind of uh, turns into a bit of a mountain.
Yeah.
We're able to do it by being adaptable, but yeah, if you could be a fly on the wall for the talks that we've had over the last 3 4 years, just in our meetings, trying to figure out how to do it the right way. I
Wow.
mean, yeah, it's not. You even see it online. You see bands kind of, bands are literally just quitting touring.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. You've seen it a lot this summer even. It's taken
Yeah,
place, which is sad because you know, music is such an outlet and going to a concert and seeing a live show is different.
yeah.
And people need that in their life. And so I congratulate you and the band on continuing to be out there because it seems like you guys are always out there and doing it no matter the cost, building a fan base, especially down in the States. I think, you're kicking ass in Canada. And that's got to feel pretty amazing too, right?
It's amazing to be just. Uh, it's amazing because it feels like in Canada, we've become a thing that people want to see no matter what. Like Glory was not our most successful, commercially successful album. So to
Which is
be
too
able to
bad
go,
because it was awesome. Sorry to interrupt.
oh yeah, and it's okay. I mean, we're really proud of it. It's just, you know, it didn't strike a nerve commercially the way that, something like Young Beauties did. But
Right.
then to be able to go sell more tickets, in Canada is just wild. It just kind of feels like, I don't want to say we're safe because that's never true, but it feels like, um, people are going to know who our band is, whether they want to or not.
Hell yeah. And a great attitude to have. Let's talk real quick about the new album. So you said it didn't have the commercial success that you would have liked and stuff, which is unfortunate. Does that light a fire under your ass to go out and make a bigger, better rock album? Or does it just sort of make you think outside the box more and just sit down and regroup as a band and figure out the next one?
Um,
Or do you really
Pretty much.
care that it didn't have the commercial success that it did or didn't?
Not really. Like, you care in a sense that you want everything to be, you always want to be going like this.
Sure.
Um, but no, I mean, it doesn't make you like less proud of it. You still love the
Oh,
album, but it does light a fire under your ass a little bit um, to want to go, especially playing those songs. They're a lot more sentimental, and um, they're kind of a little bit more chill almost when you play them live. So um, it makes you want to go out. And we've kind of gotten back in the last 6 months of just trying to go out there and rip people's faces off. So there's kind of a reignited thing in the band, kind of toward a rock and roll kind of rambunctious energy, which is cool. I think we'll just continue to go through these phases over and over and over again because we never really look back on something and go, okay, that's it.
yeah.
It's always, I'm never really satisfied with what we've done, and it always just kind of is like the next album's always been a reaction to the last album,
Yeah.
and sometimes that can be bad. Sometimes it's better just to look back and be positive about what you've done. But I don't know. For us, it's just it's always a reaction, and we always want to do something different and better.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And you do that. And what you've done sort of different and better, and I don't know if it's different so much, but you guys have been doing this singer-songwriter thing before the shows. And man, as a fan, and I speak for many other people, that is badass.
yeah.
And
It's fun,
people have
right?
really enjoyed it. I've never heard one bad word about it. Everybody that comes out of there is gobsmacked. They are so grateful and thankful to have gotten to see that and to spend a few minutes with you guys to get a picture and a quick hello and stuff. It means the world to those guys. And it helps you guys out financially too as a band, which I think is amazing. It's a two-way street, and you guys are doing it.
Well, there's so many facets to that. Like, number one, Jay talks about it before we start. Like, we really, really don't like the handshake picture thing because it just seems so one way. There's no, you can't be interested in 100 people in a line all at once. It's just like, I don't know. It's so insincere. And then The second thing would be we used to do it so that I would sing, 6 songs sometimes
Yeah.
if we would hit a stride, and then I'd be singing a set after a sound check, before a set, and then repeat. And you'd have to do that for sometimes 63 days. You
Yeah.
know,
That's a lot
it's a lot.
on your
Um,
moneymaker, like shit.
yeah, and then I think a lot of people now are starting to realize because of that the band has a lot of talent, as far as songwriters and singers in it, that you don't always get. It doesn't always translate in a live rock and roll show. So,
Right.
and another thing is I think like Jay's going to be releasing music at some point, and everybody who's seen his songs has been absolutely pumped.
Yeah, man.
Peter's going to be releasing more music. Steve will be releasing more music. It's just kind of it's good. It's good for the whole I don't want to call it a business, but the whole brotherhood of the whole
Sure.
thing
It's
that we're
keeping
doing.
everybody's mind fresh and everything, like the
Mhm.
writing, everything. You guys write a lot together as a new band, or is it mostly you, Brett? How does that work?
I do a lot of the writing just right in my living room, and then everybody kind of chips in afterward. Once I kind of have something that I'm excited and kind of inspired about. Um, but the boys all do a lot of the writing like after that, and it's kind of it's we've done it every way you can possibly imagine. Sometimes we sit down on acoustic guitars together and we do it that way. Sometimes we just jam, like the classic way, you know and then sometimes we just go right into the studio and people just start throwing shit down and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. You're extremely talented and prolific when it comes to your writing. Is it something that you had to work on over the years? Is it something that came to you? And is it something that drives you mad? Because it always seems like you're writing constantly.
Yeah. So something that I had to work. It definitely is something that you have to work on. You don't just you know come out of the womb knowing how to write
Sure.
a strong you know rock and roll song,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, it's something that I, it never felt like work. You just kind of get obsessed with it, and that's what you do, right? But I've always loved to write. When I was like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9, I think I started
Gee.
writing. Like as a kid, I would just stay up all night writing stories. Not getting any sleep, and I've kind of have always been. I've always thought of myself as a writer. I don't know why, but even as a kid, I was like, I want to be a writer. I want to be an author when I'm older. And then I
Hmm.
wanted to be a rock star. One point, I wanted to be the fastest man on earth. I don't know what happened to that dream.
Well, rock
Um,
and roll and chicks got in the way of that one, but that's okay.
yeah, no, weed and booze.
Yeah, well, that too. I didn't want to be like super poor, but listen, so many people have asked me to ask you about lyrics and stuff and what they mean and stuff. And I mean, there's so many. You have thousands of amazing, cool, unique lyrics, Brett. But I'm going to sort of go off on my own here and ask. There's one that really stands out for me, and I would just love to know about. And it's you say, "I could turn anything into morphine. Wake up, baby, it's just a dream." Where the
Yeah.
fuck does that come from, bro?
It's just kind of the ability, I guess. I was, you know, it was right after my last breakup, and I was just kind of in a place where you're questioning yourself a lot. And I was thinking about the first year of our relationship and um, how maybe how much fun I was, and how good I was at kind of like being a present boyfriend. And I was kind of wondering if that was an act. I
Hmm.
was wondering, I was wondering if that was like a spell that I was weaving rather than just being myself. So, you know, it was just kind of, when you can deaden somebody's senses, or you can deaden your own senses and just make somebody not thinking about the future or something like that. And basically, it's just about that, is wondering if I'm just really good at tricking somebody. And that was the that was where that line came from.
Interesting way to think about it. Do you still see yourself and look at yourself that way? Like it's almost like a trick? And is that what being a relationship?
No, no, I generally don't look at myself that way. It's just, when something like that happens, you have to go into there's a period of self-reflection after that. And I guess, you know, the thing that happens always in every relationship is you put your best foot forward, and if you fail at it, usually you're not putting your best foot forward for the whole time.
Right.
And I always kind of wondered, I think maybe I put too much of my best foot forward and really wasn't honest about, what I was willing to do or who I was able to be at that moment in my life.
Right.
So, um, yeah, I have this other line. It's like, what is it? Hi, Arla. You want to say hi to Arla?
Hey. Hi, puppy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hello. Um, I can lie and try to be the man you think I am is the other line. And I find that we just do that so much in relationships, but we never actually ever. Well, we do the good ones. You lead with honesty,
Sure.
and yeah, it was just a real moment of self-reflection and trying to, work out
Yeah.
some of those kinks in my own brain.
Yeah, for sure. I could talk so much more about relationships and stuff, but we'll leave that for another time. I want to talk a bit more about the band.
Yeah,
You guys are so wonderful. You've gone through some changes. First we got Pete aboard. That guy is
yeah,
just a wonderful human being, isn't he, dude?
yeah,
Like, holy
yeah,
cripes.
yeah.
He's so talented. Like he's a lead singer in his own band, a great guitar player, and then you got him playing bass for the Suns, and he's just fit right in. And it's really cool to see your love and respect for Pete as a fan.
Well, you know what Peter is? Peter is like the actual symbol of like a working man in the band. If you could see the way this man actually lives his life, i- if you asked him about something, or if you were having an argument about something, political or something, he would sit there and research it for 2 weeks to try to figure out the real truth behind it.
Wow,
If he needs to build something, he builds it, but through figuring it out. He takes
meticulous.
it slow. If you need help, he's at your house immediately. He sets up our band room, because none of us knows how to do that. He still tunes our guitars or restrings them and sets them up. Um,
What a legend.
he knows so much about so many things, and it's not because he was just really smart. It's because he cares that much and takes the time to figure it out and puts the actual elbow grease into it. It's a real sense of gumption with Peter. He cares about things, and the things that he cares about, he puts himself wholly into.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love the guy, and it looks like he's really starting to feel comfortable up there and fit in with you. And I love how you bust his balls up there and push him to the front. I get a real kick out of it. And the other new addition, Steve, this handsome tall drink of water, like good Christ, he's a fun handsome dude, isn't he? Must be a great
Yo,
time in addition to the band to be on the road with.
Steve is a beautiful man. I feel like he's basically more of Jay's brother than I am. Um,
Yeah, right.
they Steve and Jay started working together, I think, at the start of COVID. Um, and Steve and I have worked on some stuff, but again, just a fucking amazing guy and an amazingly talented guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's very happy to have the guys that we have in the band right now, because everybody kind of seems to be there for one another, and
Yeah.
that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it really looks like it, and you can tell. So this is the band now, but moving forward for a long time to come, is that what you see and envision, Brett?
Yes. Oh
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Couple more quick questions before I let you go, because I don't want to take too much of your time.
You can take as much time as you want. I'm
Okay,
I'm not I'm waking up here, and I don't really have fuck all to do all day. So
awesome. You the man, bud. How many microphone stays do you think you have busted and gone through in your life? You have a real special relationship with those things, don't you?
uh yeah, I honestly couldn't even begin to guess.
Awesome. Well, your tech guys do a great job, and they must get a kick out of it. Speaking of tech guys, and I got to bring this up because you just did a show in Buffalo, and you had a cord on your microphone, and you even made a mention of it that, oh shit, this is going to be fun. And watching your poor guy back there trying to keep up with you not getting tangled and everything, that was a real treat to see, bud.
Well, there was two guys there, two brand new guys, because we had like, I think 3 or 4 crew members either, having personal things going on, or they had a bigger gig somewhere else or whatever. So we hired two guys, and that was Brian working my mic cord back there.
Okay.
And it's not usually guaranteed that you're going to take on a guy when they're coming fresh like that. And now I think Brian will probably be a part of our camp for
Cool.
a long time. So,
that's great. Well, he earned it that night for sure.
yeah.
Brett, you're super musically gifted. Like, it's unbelievable. Watching you, especially during COVID, man, and really getting to see you pour your heart out and your talent on that piano and just sitting down. Where does that come from? Is it your mom back in the day, like me, forcing us to play the piano, and then I quit and you sort of didn't, or how did that work?
I'm actually, I would correct you and tell you I'm not really like musically gifted. I'm really good at shapes, and I'm really good at kind of expressing emotion my way. But um, like, I would probably say that I'm one of the least musically gifted guys at this tier that I would know of. But it more comes from just understanding kind of shapes and patterns, and then developing kind of a style that is my own through inefficiencies. So, like, I can sit down on the piano and play you something really nice, but if you were to sit down beside me on the piano and say, play this, I would be so fucking lost. I would just be like, what the hell is that?
Okay.
Why should I play that? Why don't I sing something?
Yeah.
But music kind of, it just started, I guess, with the whole story thing. Like it was just an obsession. And it was after I joined a band as a frontman. My friend Jordan Beatty kicked me out because I wasn't a real singer, and I started my own band. And as soon as I started playing my brother's acoustic guitar and kind of getting confidence in my own voice, I just couldn't put the thing down.
Yeah.
And it was just a vehicle for expression, really, more than anything else. And I think now I'm getting better at music, and it's starting to catch up. But really, it was always just about trying to sing something or say something that sounded good along with what I was playing.
Yeah.
And now I'm dealing with the problem, I think, where I can play something really fucking cool, but if you're playing something really cool and singing something really cool at the same time, nobody is going to hear them both
Yeah.
for what they're worth. So you get better at your tools, right? But it's all in vain if you don't know how to use your tools properly. And
Sure.
that's one of those things that, you know, it's kind of a cool time for me because I've just been backing away a little bit and trying to let things come. And it's been actually quite fun that way.
Do you have a preference on stage, Brett? Do you prefer to rip around with that microphone and cause a ruckus, or do you prefer having that guitar in your hand and sort of doing both at the same time? Or does it fall into sort of what you just said and you don't like doing them both at the same time because it takes one away from the other?
My preference would probably be without a guitar, uh, depending on how fun what I'm playing is. But um, yeah, I don't really have a preference. It's just you got to have a balance, and I do find that it does take away a little from my ability to express myself if I have a guitar in my hand.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're really good at expressing yourself out there, man. It's a joy to watch. One of the funnest shows I think I've ever seen of you and of any band was you out in the rain opening for Nickelback in London, Rock the Park. What a time that was watching you rip around and slip sliding and having and just you're like a kid out there. It was like the best of both worlds because you got to perform and do you, but you also had your own fun little water park. And man, you
Yeah,
put on a show that night.
that was awesome. I loved that show. Like
Yeah,
I'll remember that show forever.
that's really cool.
Hmm.
Amazing. Up Jay, would a lot of your musical talent come from him being first and the older brother and wanting to sort of be like the older brother?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Basically, my whole childhood was just trying to impress Jay,
Yeah,
and pretty much if he did something, I did it. Um, and yeah, it's still kind of that way. You know, it gets a little bit more complicated when you're in a band together and you're running a business together and you see each other more than you see anybody else.
yeah,
But um, yeah, it all started with Jay. Like he was always the trailblazer, and that's kind of still the thing in the band. Like um, Jay is kind of the silent leader,
yeah,
um, and then you know what ends up happening is I get the chance to be myself because of that.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, that's who it started with.
Mom and dad musically talented, playing instruments, or is it just no, eh?
Bob would probably feel hurt that I said this, but no, like dad's. My dad thinks because he was in a musical in grade 7 that that's where we got our talent from. I think he
Of course.
fancies himself a dancer, but and I think he can move when he gets going, but um, no, there wasn't. Jay was the trailblazer. It was almost like I was put in like a rock and roll camp from the age that I was like 7 years old up because
Cool.
he'd be babysitting me and reading me stories about Led Zeppelin. Um, and I just have memories of like Aerosmith being just as loud as it could possibly go through the house when my parents were away, and just driving around with him and his bands when I was young. Like um, they'd be going to gigs and they just let me tag along, and I'm 7 years younger than them,
Wow.
so they were the coolest guys in the world to just allow me to
Sure.
come see what this life was like. I had such a cool upbringing in that way. Like even when Jay went to university, uh, I was allowed to go up and see him by myself. I just go up and hang out with university students,
Wow.
and it was just kind of, I think, unique in that way that I was allowed to do that because um, it did it kind of it ignited this fire for rock and roll in me, but it kind of, I don't know, allowed me to kind of I guess understand people more or something at a young age,
Yeah. Yeah,
which was
definitely.
good.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows, being around, that older influence at a young age is it can be good or bad, and it looks like it really worked out for you, man. Um, it's awesome. I had so many avenues I wanna go, but, uh, let's talk fishing. Your
Okay.
love of fishing, I've known this for so long. You live on a lake, you do a ton of fishing, man. I don't know, you probably don't know this about me, obviously, because 'cause I'm just some schlub, but I used to, run a fishing charter down in Nicaragua, and I
No
lived there
shit.
for a long time, so if you ever wanna come down to Nicaragua, bro, you got a full setup down there. We'll go and do
No
some
way.
amazing deep sea fishing.
Really?
Yeah, man, I
What were
lived
you
in
fishing for there?
well, there's different seasons, right? So you got rooster fish, you can go, tarpon like the sailfish.
Yeah.
There's seasons for that. That's my guy who owns a boat and everything, they do that as sport fishing in the summer. That's his job, and they're catching 300-400 massive, pound sailfish and stuff. It's pretty
Wow.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of tons of different like tuna. We're eating fresh tuna right off the boat as soon as we
No
catch it.
shit, eh?
Sashimi and that. It's a wild time down there.
What was the first fish you said?
Rooster fish.
Yeah, what's that? Never
So
even heard of that.
it could be about yay big, about this thick, and it's got like this huge sort of rooster tail on it that, when you're water skiing and stuff, you get that
Yeah,
rooster tail. So this fish has got that, and they're a special catch, man. They're a really cool fish. I'll send you a picture of it
please do.
after when I caught. But yeah, fishing down in Nicaragua is really special, man. It's a time. What's your favorite kind of fishing to do?
Well, I've been getting back into the bass fishing just because of
Okay.
how relaxing it is.
Yeah.
I've The last 3 years I've been kind of, no, probably more than that, 4 or 5 years I've been obsessed with trout fishing.
Okay.
Like lake trout. Have you ever done that?
I have never got to go lake trout fishing. It's probably one
Okay.
of the only fish I haven't gone for. Down rigging the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with that because I never caught one until I was 25 years old.
Wow,
So
okay.
I never had the gear to be able to get down there or um, know how to do that kind of stuff. So Yeah, now I'm a bass fisherman again, but I got pretty obsessed with the lake trout for a while.
Right on. Bass fishing sure is a blast. You're out there, you're fishing and stuff. You've got a really cool array of music that you listen to, that you share what you're listening to, but you also got some fucking badass bands that you bring on the road, bro. I got to
Yeah,
admit, Brother Elsie,
yeah,
absolutely fell in love with those guys. Like
yeah,
those dudes are unreal. Feral Minx, they're new, sort of joining you guys. Those guys are wicked dudes, great music.
yeah.
Boston Levi, another great band. Like, how are you finding all these beauties?
Well, that's Jay. Jay's
Okay.
finding them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, those guys all kind of have been working with Jay separately now for, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 7 years.
Okay.
So yeah, and we just kind of keep it in house, you know. I think Jay kind of really cares about giving people the opportunity to get an audience,
Yeah.
and you know, we've had a discussion recently about it, but he's right in a sense. You know, there's not a lot of bands just willing to take out um, their friends and people that they believe in. You know, usually it's got to be somebody,
You're
um,
told to take.
yeah, somebody who looks good on social media, or somebody who like it's kind of like turns into kind of almost a political play or
Sure.
something. Um, and yeah, we've kind of just maintained that we want to take out the bands we like and the people that we like on the road. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Speaking of the road, you got a couple shows coming up, but is there any plans for another big tour, a new album coming out? Where are we at with that, Brett?
Well, we're just right now doing one-off stuff. Um, you know, there's not a lot of big plans to tour. And as far as album stuff, we're going into record next week.
Super.
But it's just kind of one of those things where when it comes, it comes, and you know, it's not time to put an insane amount of pressure on anything. Like we worked really, really hard last year, and um, you know, this year I hope we kind of get the time just to make sure that we're keeping perspective and doing the right thing for us, and just being mindful of, you know, our time and you know, our health and whatnot.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you remember the excitement and where you were when you got your call from your older brother Jay to come and ask you to leave Halifax and come join the band?
I remember there was several calls. So
Okay.
they would call me drunkenly after band practice, and I'd be like, "No, I'm not doing that. I didn't. I'd quit school and I wanted to make it on my own, and I met a friend out there that I was playing with. Um, so there was that, and then actually it was me who made the call to ask him if I could come back and join the
Okay.
band. Yeah, and I do remember the day. I think I was probably at my house. Um, but yeah, it was a what would you call it? It it was a downhill stream for a while.
Yeah.
And I think probably if I wouldn't have done that, um, I could have really gotten myself into trouble out there. So
Jeez.
it was yeah. He was just like, yeah, of course, come on back. You can work for me. Join the
Oh yeah.
band. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the right decision, by the sounds of it. Listen, I can't thank you enough for your time. Before I let you go, I want to give a shout out to your pal and a friend of mine too, sort of newer friend of me, Ryan Mueller.
Yeah.
Such a great guy. Him and his wife Gabby are just wonderful humans. And he's the one that sort of pushed me to, sort of invade you and put you on the spot at Bala.
Hmm.
And I'm glad I did, and I'm glad he did, and I'm thankful for him, and I'm really thankful that you said yes when I put you on the spot.
Hey, Ryan's a great man, and thank you, Bonzi. This is great.
Yeah, I
Thanks for
mean,
having me.
it's been a real pleasure getting to speak to you, man. You are a wonderful, special person. You put on a great show for everybody. You certainly get your money's worth, and it's amazing to just watch you do your thing out there. And I think we're almost at 20, and I look forward to the next 20 and 40 and 60 after that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I wish you nothing but the best in the band. Great success moving forward, dude. And yeah, thank you so much again for
Thanks,
doing it.
Bonzi.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
bet.
and we'll see you. We'll be seeing you, of course. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next show in Norfolk County coming up soon. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your time. Say hi to the band for me.
will do, buddy.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, man.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye now.